Hello everybody and welcome to Doing Stuff and Things. Now on this adventure, I'm going to show you 3 amazing trails to do in Kauai that you do not need a permit for or really any planning to do, except for maybe the last one because that is the most difficult. We're going to rate them from easiest to hardest. The first 2, super easy, family friendly. The last one, my absolute favorite, is super difficult, even though it's short, but it's well worth it and one of my favorites. Let's go.
Number 1, the Moalepe/Kuilau Trail. But warning, there may be mosquitoes.
The Moalepe Trail is absolutely suitable for trail runners, mountain bikers, and casual walkers. There's amazing mountain and valley views to be had just off trail in some places. And there's a variety of different environments that you'll get to experience, including some pretty neat trees that you might not see anywhere else. Towards the end of the Moalepe Trail, you'll enter the Kuilau Trail. Now it's the same trail just with a different name, and this will be the jungle section of the trail. It's absolutely incredible. If you're very careful and good on your feet with good footwear, there's a pretty great selfie spot and picnic area on the Kuilau side of the trail. Just be very, very careful if you go off trail and make sure you can handle yourself and know what you're doing. But it's absolutely gorgeous. If you keep your eyes open, there are hidden little gems along this trail. The total length of the trail is 4 miles each way. It is an out and back trail, and the Kuilau side has far less parking than the Moalepe side, so that is something to consider if you're planning this hike. Be pretty careful not to bump any of the branches that hang into the trail, because that's where the mosquitoes live. You've been warned.
On the east side of Kauai, this is Moalepe. Now, for number 2, we head to the south side, the Mahaulepu Trail.
The drive to the south shore of Kauai is pretty amazing. This is a feature called the Tunnel of Trees, and it's absolutely stunning. The Mahaulepu Heritage Trail is 2 miles from Shipwrecks Beach at the Grand Hyatt, ending right here. Now, it's a pretty short walk, and it's very easy walking, easy grade, and an amazing place to look for whales in the winter. But in addition to whales, be sure to look down in the water, because you could see some needlefish like this swimming around, or any fish, because typically the water here is very clear. And there's also sea turtles in abundance. If you're looking for a longer hike than just the cliffs, which is easy walking because there's no steep elevations to climb, you can follow this trail all the way around the beach to that point of land on the right. And when you drop down to the beach, there's a neat little side adventure to have if you follow this stream up to this cave. Now this cave is privately owned, so it may be closed for maintenance at the time you're there, but I do recommend stopping and dedicating 15 minutes to checking out this area. And I do have full videos for all of these adventures on the channel. This is a very easy trail for pretty much all ages and abilities, and really the only difficult section of this trail is following the beach simply because you have to walk through sand. Be prepared for anything when you're in Kauai. It could be very windy, it could be rainy, and then it could be sunny again, all in the same hour span. Once you get to the end of the beach, it does become a normal trail again, but definitely have some shoes in your pack, because unless you have island feet, these rocks will cut your feet to ribbons. The walking is very easy, and there are lava tubes that go under the trail in many places, so keep your ears open because at times you will hear the surf surging through those lava tubes just under your feet. places on this trail, you'll have the option of following the trail inland or following the rocks right alongside the water's edge, which is an amazing place in the winter to look for whales. This is Hawaii, so you never know if you'll come across an old shrine. And because this is Hawaii, you'll never know if the shrine you come across is ancient Hawaiian shrine or more modern shrines. Either way, whatever you find, tiptoe around it and be respectful, don't take anything, and pretty much just don't touch anything. There's a lot of neat lava formations to look at and some old caves. Just be very careful because this lava is extremely sharp. Always be careful around the cliffs because the ocean can be super dangerous. This is a relatively high surf day, but on a calm day I imagine there is some amazing snorkeling around this area. Just be careful, watch for rip currents, and when in doubt, don't go out. We have reached the end of the hike for this video because from here on there's a barbed wire fence that separates this beach from that point of land right there. Now I did hear a rumor there's a way to get over there, but for me, I was happy doing the 4 miles just in and out. Tragically, this was a very rough day because I was anticipating some amazing snorkeling and spearfishing in this little bay. Perhaps next time. Now we're going to go back over to the east side of Kauai to one of my favorite hikes that I've ever been on, Makaleha Falls. As with all of the lesser-known beaches and trails in Kauai, the parking there is very limited with only room for about a dozen cars, so definitely show up early. And the first half of this trail is really deceiving, because you're thinking, this is an easy trail just walking through the jungle, and it does seem that way for the first half, but you're going to see why this is one of my favorite and most challenging hikes on the second half of this trail.
This plunge pool at the very beginning of the trail is one of my favorite places in Kauai, and it is a perfect place to wash off the mud from the trail as well as just take a dip on your way in. And if you decide to jump off the rock, be sure you do it in a very specific spot so you don't hurt yourself. Always be careful. And I have full videos of all these adventures on the channel. As I said before, the first half of this hike is really easy going with no elevation gain, just beautiful foresty jungle walking with all kinds of amazing trees to marvel at. And there's a few different side points of interest if you want to take a little detour to see some neat things. Like right here, there's a fun little water shrine, and I believe this water is safe to drink that's coming out of the pipe. I've never personally done it because I haven't been that brave, but I have seen people do it. Be sure to wear good water shoes for this hike because you will have to spend a lot of time in the stream, both crossing back and forth and sometimes walking straight through it. There is no one set Makaleha Falls trail. In fact, it kind of spiderwebs its way through this valley. So make sure that you're always following the river and never climbing the hill up to the ridge, because then you will be going the wrong way. There's beautiful bamboo forest and many different ways to go about taking this hike, just so long as you are following the river. This beautiful weird rock is just before the turnaround spot if you're not looking to do something totally serious and strenuous, because right after this rock is when the trail gets weird. From here on out, you will be scrambling, climbing, crawling on hands and knees trying to get through this trail. This is why the 1.2 mile trail takes about 2 hours to do, because the trail looks like this in a lot of different places. In fact, sometimes you won't be crawling under the branches, you'll just be literally walking across them. This is why it is one of my favorite hikes. keep your eyes open for wild orchids and funny little bird nests that look like avocados. This section of the trail is also in a very narrow canyon, so be sure that you do not do this hike during or after heavy rains, and if the water is brown, you should not get in it, because that is when a nasty little parasite called leptospirosis is in the highest concentrations. So abandon the hike if the water is muddy red-brown. Also, this is a great place to do some freshwater prawn fishing. Make sure you don't tucker yourself out too bad, because everything you just walked through, you have to walk back through, and it is a tricky trail, so be careful and save some gas in the tank. Makaleha Falls, one of my favorites.